As I mentioned before, every job is made up of about 5 to 7 key result areas. In sales, for example, there are 7 key result areas consisting of first, prospecting, second, establishing rapport, third, identifying needs, fourth, presenting solutions, fifth, answering objections, sixth, closing the sale, and seventh, getting resales and referrals from satisfied customers. If you're in sales, you should give yourself a grade of 1 to 10, with 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest in each of these areas. You need to have a minimum score of 7 across the board to be in the top 20% of your field. Once you've graded yourself in these 7 areas, you should take the list to your boss, or even better, to one of your customers, and ask them to give you a grade as well. This could be a real eye-opener for you. Very often, your evaluation of yourself is much different and higher than the way you are evaluated by others. Whatever your final grades, you must then select your weakest key skill and go to work on that skill to bring it up so that it is equal or greater than the others. Your weakest key skill sets the height of your income and determines how fast and how far you go in your career. Here's the great go-forward question for the rest of your working life. What one skill, if you developed and did it in an excellent fashion, would have the greatest positive impact on your career? The answer to this question then becomes your focal point for personal and professional development. Your answer to this question is essential to your achieving excellence in your field. Keep asking yourself, what one skill, if I developed and did it in an excellent fashion, would have the greatest positive impact on my income and on my future in my current job? If you're at all unsure about the answer to this question, go to your boss and ask him or her. Ask your coworkers, ask your staff, ask your spouse and your friends. It's absolutely essential that you find out the answer to this question and then focus all of your energies on improving your performance in this particular area. This becomes your major definite purpose for personal and professional development. You write it down, set a deadline, make a plan, take action on your plan, and then do something every day to get better in this particular skill. Once you've achieved mastery in your weakest key result area, you then ask the question again. Now, what one skill will help me the most? And whatever your answer to that question, you go to work on that skill until you achieve mastery in that area as well. The highest, best-paid people in every field score an 8, 9, or 10 across the board in each of their key result areas. This must also be your goal. If you're in management, there are 7 key result areas that determine your success or failure at your job. These are: first, planning; second, organizing; third, staffing; fourth, delegating; fifth, supervising; sixth, measuring; and seventh, reporting. All top managers are excellent in every one of these areas. All poor managers are weak in one or more of these areas. A serious weakness in any one of these key result areas can be fatal to your success in your work. For example, if you were absolutely excellent at every part of managing except for delegating, that would hold you back every day of your career. I've worked with managers who were so poor at delegating that they could get nothing done. They eventually had to be fired because of the damage they were causing to the rest of the business. Give yourself a grade of 1 to 10 in each of these key result areas. Ask people around you to grade you as well. And be honest. Seek for the truth rather than a diplomatic answer from a polite coworker. One of the popular management tools being used today is called a 360-degree analysis. In this type of analysis, a survey is given to several people who report to a particular manager. The survey is filled out anonymously, and all the surveys are returned to an outside consultant who summarizes the answers on the survey. This summary of answers is then given to the manager so that he or she can see how he or she is perceived by others. It often comes as quite a shock to the manager. For example, the manager will say, "I make careful and thoughtful decisions," but the staff will say, "He is weak, indecisive, and insecure when it comes to making decisions." In a recent management study, 75% of all managers rated themselves in the top 25% of managers in terms of effectiveness. Most managers rated themselves in the top 20% in terms of personality and intelligence as well. We all have a natural tendency to rate ourselves very highly, no matter what the quality or characteristic. This is why it's so helpful for a person to be rated by his or her peers on a regular basis. Once you've determined the key result area where you want and need to improve the most, you set it as a goal, make a plan, determine a standard, and set a deadline. Then, you go to work to improve yourself in that area every day. In a week, a month, or a year, you will look back and you'll be absolutely excellent in that skill area. You will have become an expert in your field. One of the most popular business books in recent years is called First, Discover Your Strengths. This book follows from an earlier bestseller called First, Break All the Rules. The common conclusion of both of these books is simply that people don't change. You are born with certain natural talents, abilities, tendencies, strengths, weaknesses, and talents. These emerge in early life and usually crystallize in your late teens. They don't change very much over the course of your lifetime. One of the most important things you do in your career is to identify what it is that you are really good at, or what you can become good at it, and then put your whole heart into becoming excellent in that area. Mary Baker Foley, a management consultant in the 1920s, once wrote, "The very best direction to ride a horse is in the direction that it is going. The very best way to develop yourself is in the direction of your natural talents and interests." Jim Cathcart, the author and speaker, says, "Nurture your nature." This is extremely important advice that you should follow throughout your career. You're put on this earth with special talents and abilities that make you unique and different from all other people who have ever lived. Throughout your life, you've often found yourself in an area of activity where your special talents and abilities have enabled you to accomplish more and to enjoy what you're doing at a higher level than anything else you could do. One of your great goals in life is to identify and isolate the one or two things that you can do better and enjoy more than anything else, and then concentrate on becoming absolutely excellent in those areas.